Welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna, and welcome to Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, where we take a pin that we've put on our Pinterest board and we use it. Here's a pin by Hey Little Magpie on Pinterest, and I did a cut file with my Cricut. You'll see I meant to weld it all into one piece, and it didn't work. And that's okay. Maybe it was easier to back it when it wasn't all completely together. So I start by going into my scraps and just to find, and I'm not going to have you watch me back everyone, but I thought I'd have you watch me back just one. It's super easy with the Barely Art glitter glue. It gets a little bit of give while it's still drying, and you can slip your scissors behind the cut file to trim it out. I was a little nervous because this is a pretty thin, the way it was a thin cut file, and with using it like this, it was totally fine. No worries at all. And you just do this while you're watching TV and it goes really fast. So I'll trim that first one out. I do use those scraps on the left-hand side there that you see. Most of them, I did 2 Mickey ears with each piece, but there were some like this one here that I only had enough paper for one. And here is that completed. This is a super dark picture of my daughter and myself. I should have it reprinted. We were on the Little Mermaid ride at Disney. So I first brought out some 3x4 cards to back it, and I didn't like that you couldn't see very much, so then I brought some 4x4 cards to back it. Now I start gluing it down. Oh, I'm going to pull out some pieces first. I was going to say I'm going to start gluing the photo on top of the mats before I realize that I haven't glued the cut file down, but that'll come later. So I have all these chipboard pieces and just different things from my stash. So I'm going to find just a couple pieces. Oh, and the title. It says what a bunch of characters, and that doesn't end up staying there. But I will find just different pieces that will go onto the cut file. I do have that punch that's on the left-hand side, and I will often use that on my Disney layouts. That is a fireworks that I just laid down. And then this balloon says, "It's a beautiful day." So I felt like that was kind of perfect on there too. I do have other photos of the Little Mermaid ride that is in a different layout. I take out that little speech bubble and I'm going to make a little cluster on top along with the sun. And then I am looking for papers that will that I'm going to use to punch the Mickey heads. So I will use the red and white polka dot paper, and I'm just going to punch out 2 of them in each color. Well, 2 in red and 2 in a yellow. And I find kind of a golden yellow to punch the yellow Mickey heads out of. And there we go. The little chipboard on the bottom, it's just a little piece that says "Goofing Off." Here I decide I'm going to use the title "Vacation" instead. And so that will stay there. And then I'm just trying to look for some labels or something on the top and the bottom of the photo. And then I thought of my Creative Memories punch that does tags on the one side. And I had a hard time because I was working with such a small piece of getting it lined up exactly. And I really could have used a bigger piece, but I just used just a scrap of paper that was sitting on my desk. So I will layer the title, or I guess it's a subtitle of "Goofing Off" right over that polka dot paper. I'll use that down there. After that, I find a red label, and then I end up getting a yellow kind of a tab as well that I'll bring in there. But this is where I'm like, oh, I'll just adhere down the photo, and very quickly discover that, yeah, I never glued down the cut file. So here goes everything off, and peel up the photo. And then it was just a little tricky getting these down so that they did look like they were all one piece, because that's what I was going for. But I think I would still do it the same way the next time, because I'm sure it was easier to back when it wasn't all in one piece. And I am just using my ATG adhesive to get those Mickey heads down. And I don't put adhesive on each Mickey head. But I make sure to get the end pieces so that they're secure. Then I will go back and put the matting to the photo down. And I think initially when I had this figured out, I was going to put the photo straight on, but this time it's a little crooked. I mean, on purpose crooked, and that's just fine. But it does need a lighter photo. It's like it looks better in person than it does. Like you can't even tell that's a photo right there, but you can see us better in real life. There's that yellow tab. That is a Nicole Jones 911 printable. And then I will also get that goofing off tab down underneath it. And then I think gotta get the title down. And then I will work on those Mickey heads and then another cluster up on the left-hand side. So I put a red and yellow one down there, just getting the yellow next to the big red Mickey head and the red little Mickey head next to the yellow big Mickey head. And the same thing with the other side, just tucking them underneath. I go between my ATG adhesive and my glue, but on smaller pieces I usually use the glue. But the other thing is, like, if I've gotten things that are like super right in the right spot and I don't want to bring them up to put the ATG on, then I'll sneak the liquid glue behind. In the chipboard I use the liquid glue. I don't know. I mean, you will see me use the ATG on it as well, but it just seems like a better idea to use the liquid glue for those chipboard pieces. That red label is a Nicole Jones 911 printable as well. And I didn't, when I finished, I didn't put any kind of words or anything on that. One will have a date. One of the labels will have a date. I'm not sure what the other one will have. Maybe it should say like Little Mermaid Ride. That would be okay. Or I could put Jillian and Mom or something like that as well. Since most of them will be dated, they're all on the same day. We just went to the parks one day. That date should be throughout the pictures, or throughout the layouts. So here I am going to make a cluster up in the left side, and I'm not sure what to put there. That little piece says Time Together, which I liked, and then the sun. And I'm just not sure about that heart speech bubble, because I'm like, well, why is it a speech bubble? What is it? Who is saying that up there? Maybe it's Mickey. I don't know. But so I keep looking for something else rather than that speech bubble to use. And I end up using these sunglasses. And I want to put the sun on top because the sun should be in the air and the sunglasses on the bottom. When I'm looking probably now for some stars, so I decided just to put one of those little stars that come in the chipboard collection, just one in each cluster. So we got the yellow on the bottom, the red above the picture, and here's where I move over my cluster. Please check below for everyone that's playing along with Off the Board with Pineapple Papers this month of December. I know it's kind of a busy time of year, so I'm not sure how many people will be playing along, but everybody will be listed below that are playing. I think all now that is left is to get a star in each of those clusters. The yellow one goes up on the top left one, and then there's a blue one that might be hard to see that'll go over in the bottom left one. So I really kind of have 1, 2, 3 clusters. 1, 2, 3 clusters. Why did I think I had more than that? I have no idea. Well, I ended up with a visual triangle. Actually, no, there are 4. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon.